Some memories fade quietly with time, but others stay alive under the skin forever. A photograph can capture a smile, a place, or a moment, yet somehow it still feels distant, almost untouchable after enough years pass. But a tattoo is different because it does not simply show a memory. It becomes physically connected to the body itself. That emotional connection is what makes certain tattoos feel more powerful than entire photo albums. Many people have looked at an old picture and felt nostalgia for only a few seconds before moving on. But the moment they see a meaningful tattoo on their arm, chest, or wrist, the emotions return instantly with overwhelming intensity. The human brain treats tattoos differently because the body becomes part of the emotional experience. A tattoo is not stored inside a phone, hidden in a frame, or forgotten in a drawer. It moves with every breath, every heartbeat, and every stage of life. Psychologists often describe emotional memory as something tied deeply to sensory experience, and tattoos activate that emotional system in a unique way. Pain, touch, healing, symbolism, and personal meaning all combine into one permanent emotional imprint. When someone gets a tattoo connected to grief, love, trauma, survival, or transformation, the process itself becomes part of the memory. Every second under the tattoo needle creates emotional weight that photographs can never fully reproduce. A picture may remind someone of a person they lost, but a tattoo can make them feel like that person still exists beside them every single day. That is why some individuals protect their tattoos with incredible emotional intensity, even more than valuable possessions or family photographs. To outsiders, a tattoo may look like simple ink, but to the person wearing it, it can represent an entire chapter of life that words cannot explain. Some tattoos are connected to heartbreak, while others are linked to recovery from depression, addiction, or emotional pain. In many cases, tattoos become emotional anchors during the darkest moments of a person's life. The human mind naturally attaches stronger emotional value to experiences involving physical sensation, and tattoos involve hours of discomfort, anticipation, vulnerability, and healing. That emotional journey creates a memory pathway far deeper than simply pressing a camera button. What makes this even more fascinating is that many people do not fully realize the emotional power of their tattoo until years later. At first, it may seem like body art with personal meaning, but over time, the tattoo absorbs more memories, more emotions, and more identity. Eventually, it stops feeling like decoration and starts feeling like a living piece of the person's emotional history. That transformation is where the real psychological mystery begins, because sometimes the tattoo becomes emotionally stronger than the original memory itself. There is also a darker emotional layer hidden inside meaningful tattoos that most people never talk about openly. Sometimes a tattoo becomes more than a memory because it silently replaces something that was lost forever. Human beings are deeply emotional creatures, and when grief becomes too painful to carry mentally, the brain often searches for physical ways to preserve emotional connection. That is why memorial tattoos have become so emotionally powerful across different cultures and generations. A photograph may sit on a wall and slowly blend into the background of daily life, but a tattoo forces the memory to stay physically present. Every glance at the skin becomes another emotional reminder that the person, feeling, or experience once existed. This constant exposure strengthens emotional attachment over time instead of weakening it. In psychology, repetition increases emotional conditioning, and tattoos naturally create repetition because the body is always visible to its owner. That repeated emotional exposure can slowly transform a tattoo into something almost sacred. Some people even describe their tattoos as emotional survival tools rather than body art. They believe the tattoo helped them continue living after unbearable emotional loss. What makes this especially haunting is that tattoos sometimes hold emotions people cannot express verbally. A person may struggle to explain grief, guilt, trauma, or loneliness to others, yet a single symbol tattooed onto the skin can represent years of silent emotional pain. The tattoo becomes a hidden emotional language understood only by the person wearing it. This is where tattoos begin crossing into something far deeper than aesthetics. Researchers studying memory and emotional attachment have found that physical rituals often strengthen psychological meaning, and getting tattooed is an intensely personal ritual. The environment, the pain, the anticipation, the permanent commitment, and the emotional vulnerability all merge together into one unforgettable experience. Unlike taking a photograph, tattoos require sacrifice. That sacrifice creates emotional seriousness inside the brain. The pain itself can even become symbolic. For some individuals, the physical discomfort represents emotional release, closure, punishment, healing, or rebirth. In many cases, people choose tattoos during emotionally unstable moments without realizing how deeply those emotions will become attached to the ink forever. Years later, the tattoo may still trigger emotions powerful enough to change mood instantly. Some tattoos bring comfort, while others reopen emotional wounds the moment they are seen. The truly unsettling part is that tattoos can continue evolving emotionally long after the original event disappears from memory. A person might forget conversations, locations, or details connected to a lost relationship, yet the emotional weight of the tattoo remains fully alive. Over time, the tattoo no longer represents only the original memory. It begins representing survival, identity, regret, resilience, or personal transformation. That emotional evolution explains why removing certain tattoos can feel emotionally devastating, even when the original meaning has faded. In some cases, people are not protecting the tattoo itself. They are protecting the emotional version of themselves that existed when the tattoo was created, and losing it can feel like losing a piece of their own identity forever. What makes the emotional psychology of tattoos so powerful is the fact that human beings are constantly trying to fight against emotional disappearance. People fear forgetting the emotions that shape them because memories naturally fade with time. Faces become blurry, voices become difficult to remember, and even painful experiences slowly lose detail as years pass. Tattoos interrupt that natural fading process by turning emotional memories into permanent physical symbols. In many ways, tattoos act like emotional time capsules attached directly to the body. Every tattoo carries a hidden psychological message saying that this moment mattered enough to become permanent. That permanence creates emotional gravity, unlike almost anything else in human behavior. A photograph can be deleted accidentally, destroyed in a fire, or lost during a move, but tattoos survive alongside the person through every stage of life. That permanence changes how the brain emotionally values the memory connected to the tattoo. Many people discover that they do not simply remember the event connected to their tattoo. They relive parts of the emotional experience itself. Certain tattoos can instantly trigger sensations of love, grief, fear, hope, or survival even decades later. Scientists studying emotional recall often explain that the body and mind work together more closely than people realize, and tattoos blur the line between emotional memory and physical identity. The body literally becomes a living emotional archive. This is why strangers sometimes become emotional after hearing the story behind another person's tattoo. The tattoo represents something universally human, the fear of losing emotional connection to meaningful experiences. Some tattoos honor lost parents, children, friends, or partners because people desperately want proof that love once existed. Others represent personal battles with anxiety, trauma, addiction, loneliness, or depression because surviving those experiences changed the person forever. The tattoo becomes evidence of emotional survival. In some cases, tattoos even help people rebuild broken identities after traumatic experiences shattered their sense of self. The emotional meaning becomes stronger every year because the tattoo witnesses every future chapter of life alongside its owner. Eventually, the tattoo stops representing only the past and begins representing continuity between the past and present. That psychological bond explains why many people instinctively touch meaningful tattoos during emotional moments without even realizing it. The tattoo becomes associated with comfort, grounding, and emotional stability. Some individuals even describe feeling emotionally incomplete when they imagine removing a meaningful tattoo because the ink has become psychologically connected to their identity. The most fascinating part of all is that tattoos reveal something profound about human nature itself. People are not simply trying to decorate their bodies. They are trying to preserve emotions that feel too important to lose. Deep down, every meaningful tattoo represents a human attempt to hold on to love, pain, memory, identity, or transformation before time erases the emotional intensity forever. That is why some tattoos feel more emotional than photographs. A picture may capture what the eyes once saw, but a tattoo captures what the heart refused to forget. If you like our topics, please subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.